Hey everybody! Mixed Media Girl, Marcy is here in my studio.
Hi guys.
We are going to do a swipe today, the Sandra Lett swipe, and we're going to attempt something similar to the Wings of Love, which was really popular.
My favorite.
So we're going to be working on a 24 by 36 canvas, and I'm going to, turn the camera on above so you can see everything happen. But I just wanted to show you. So like there's my printed picture of the finished piece that I did before. And here we have our bottles lined up, all of our paint mixed. But we're going to mix two for you here in just a second. And I had a white canvas. I put a coat of black paint on it, but you can buy black canvases definitely at Hobby Lobby, and Michael's is starting to carry them. And if not, you just throw on a really quick coat of black acrylic paint, and then we're going to put a really thin skim coat of black with Floetrol over it, just to give it a little bit of a wet surface. So let's have some fun. So we are going to mix. I'm a little low in my bottles on two colors. So we're going to mix. These are both DecoArt. It can be any brand you want. We're just going to mix about 2 or 3 ounces, and I'm down at the end of this tube here. My typical ratio is 1 to 1.
1 part Floetrol to 1 part paint.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I did not get the Floetrol.
Is it back there?
There's a big jug right down there. Can you finagle? Okay. Good old Floetrol. 1 gallon. You can get the quart too. It's a little scarce these days.
Yeah.
So y'all just be aware of that. And then like the other is just craft paint. And my go-to is sour apple, and I'm at the end of the bottle. And one that's very close in the same color range is Irish moss. So I'm going to put a little of that in here. Since this is tube paint, it's going to be a little stronger. Okay, so there's a little difference in those colors, but it does not matter. And these are probably about 1 ounce or so of paint. So I'm basically just going to double up. And I might put a little more Floetrol in this one since it's a tube paint. All right. So we're gonna mix. I don't know if do you wear gloves or you like to do it
I can
without
wear gloves.
So we're gonna mix these up. And with the craft bottle paint, which is the one I'm mixing here, you do not add water after you add your Floetrol. It is already the perfect consistency.
Yeah.
It just flows off your stick, what like I call warm honey. And there's just a little slight, you see a little bit on the top edge, but it really kind of sinks in pretty quickly. So this is perfect. Now she's mixing the tube paint, but it really, it's a little thicker, but I'm not even sure that we need to add water to that one.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Hasn't fully been mixed yet. Yeah, maybe a little. I don't know. Well, seems about the same actually.
I tell you what, we're gonna keep it the way it is because I actually like my bottle paints. Like I have a whole line of these bottles over here that you can see on the left edge. They have been in the bottle up to a year, and what happens is when it runs low, I continually add paint to it. So I never empty the bottles out, I never clean them out, I continually add to it.
Me too.
And they store forever. So yeah, but I had a bottle of water with a little bit of Floetrol added, but we don't even need it. So I'm gonna stick this out of the way. And then we're gonna add our silicone, or you can do OGX. But we're going to do silicone, and we've got these are 5 ounce cups. I'll do, whoops, that was a pour. 3 to 4 drops.
3 to 4 drops, okay.
I do a drop per ounce when it comes to silicone. And you just mix it in, and that's nice and good. And then we just transfer it to our bottles, and these are the icing bottles that are on my Amazon link that I absolutely love. They're, you know, cheap. They're not cheaper. They're more expensive than the condiment bottles, but
But they're a bit thicker.
they are thicker
Right?
plastic,
Yeah.
so they're more heavy duty.
I like that.
And they have a screw-on lid that keeps it airtight, which is perfect. And they also have, here's your, let me make sure your spout is not closed up here, since these have been sitting. I always keep a toothpick around for these bottles. There's your lid.
And then I'm just gonna mix this.
You're gonna,
There was
yeah,
some
just
paint
shake it
already
up
in
really
here.
good. So see, they have these screw-on lids, and you have a really small opening, and that is what I love about my controlled swipes, is the small opening, so that you don't have a ton of paint. For instance, this is a cheap $1 condiment bottle, and you see how large the opening is. So if you put your paints in bottles like this, it comes out way heavy on your canvas, and it really is almost too much paint. So that is why I use these icing bottles, is because of the small opening. You can just chunk them over in the trash can if you want to.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Don't put me on the basketball team, you know.
Get those out of the way. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is I have
Coffee maker.
Artist Loft. Let me show you the bottle.
The Artist Loft.
Yeah, the
Flow
typical flow acrylic bottles that are quartz from Michaels. I keep a lot of the colors, but especially the white and black. And they are thick. They're not like ready to pour flow acrylics. So they're mixed 1-to-1, and I do add water to this, and it's in a Coffee Mate jug just for easy access. We're just going to put, don't go overboard on your base, and I've got an icing fondant spreader.
So just a really thin coat.
Yes, and I think I just saw a hair go in.
Yep.
I live in a house with a couple of animals. So you don't want your typical flood coat like you do on a pour. You really are not going to lose much extra paint in something like this because it's a very controlled swipe. The only paint that you're going to really have excess of will be what wipes off of your tools. So, as you can see, I'm not doing it super thick. It is just literally a skim coat, and it will self-level as it dries, and it will dry as we are doing this pretty quickly. And a swipe painting will dry way quicker than an acrylic pour because you're working really with a very thin layer of paints. So I don't worry about like a perfect layer. And again, it's not supposed to look like a total flood coat like you would on a regular, you know, dirty pour or anything like that. So the key is just to get a nice wet coat across the surface. And so Marcy is wanting to learn how to do the swiping technique, which is sometimes elusive to people. So we're going to play around and see what we can create. This was one I did probably a couple of years ago. And so I'm going to try to teach her how I get this kind of winged, multi-rainbowed color effect. And you have to think of it kind of in the artist approach as in layers. If you want these leaves to or feathers to come this way, and then you want the next layer to be over them, and you want the next layer to be over, then you start here, and then you do the second layer, and then you do whatever, so that they're kind of moving towards you, you know, in a lapped kind of fashion. Or you could do the opposite. You could start here, and then each layer would go over. So we'll switch it up just a hair from maybe the original one, and maybe we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So that's about the middle of the canvas. So we're aiming to kind of just center it and go out like this. And the other key thing is, like when you're swiping, you want everything moved away from your edges so that your tool does not hit that, because if it does, it's going to stop your design right on the canvas and it's going to look terrible. So I'm going to move everything out of the area of the swiping. And I'll put a list below the video of all the colors that are in the bottles, and we're gonna swipe with white. White will be our swiping color, and it's the only one that does not have a little silicone or OGX. The colors in the bottle either have silicone or OGX or both, because it's, again, colors mixed in over time from different pours. So, with that being said, we're going to do smaller swipes down here, and we're going to work on some larger ones up here. So, I'm going to give you a credit card, or a good RX card, you know, Office Max, and then we have paint scrapers. And then the bigger tool that we'll use for just some of the area is a plastic pull trowel, which is in my Amazon link. And this is really fun for the really larger swipes. That's why I chose this large canvas for us to play on. So basically, I'm going to do a side and then let her do her side. Uh-oh. So we're just going to switch back and forth with colors. And I'm just looking at my original design and trying to figure out what the heck I want to do. So starting at the middle, this might be difficult working upwards. We'll see. So you're just gonna take I'm just drawing out a little line, and you're gonna kind of work from the center out and go that way.
So do I want to leave from right here or
yeah,
over?
You can leave a little gap, a couple inches.
I think I went up a little bit higher.
That's okay. And so you kind of overlap it just slightly, but you don't have to go like over the top of it, because we want kind of a graduated gradient, all kinds of words, a gradient effect. I'm not going to use this color. And so the key with this is to not go heavy. You're squeezing out just pretty much a thin line of paint, and I'm kind of going in a rainbow, like the way you would see the colors of the rainbow. You don't have to have a steady hand. I have a very shaky hand. You're doing good. Just go a little lighter.
Okay.
See how hers is just a bit thicker?
Too thick? Okay.
It just means you need to squeeze the bottle a little less than you start, you know, just don't squeeze it so hard. And you kind of, as you move, if you move faster, it will also make a thinner line as well. So the key with this is not to have a bunch of paint on your canvas. It's just enough to swipe the different colors. And I'm just praying that this will work, because, like I said, the paints have been sitting in these bottles for quite a while. Yeah, and if you need to,
okay,
we'll move while you're doing that, I'll move these out of the way. Actually, I'll come back with these because we're going to do this over and over again. Yeah, okay. You can hand them back to me, and then let's see. And we want hot pink. This is a magenta color.
And I still need the red.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Okay.
And I always have a kind of like a little pile of wet, just damp paper towels to wipe off our tools as we go, because you want a clean tool every time you do a swipe. Okay. Okay, so this row will be, they're going to be the smaller things. So we're going to put a line above the purple, which was our first color. And you don't want your black mixture to be real watery. Like sometimes people make their base coat more watery than their colors before they do an acrylic pour of some sort. You don't want this super watery, because if you do, what happens when you put your colors down, they bleed out and they start mixing in because the base is too wet and too watered down. So don't water your base coat down more than you have to. You can do this on white, you can do it on any color, and you just don't put any silicone in your black either. So let's see.
Is this enough white?
Yeah, I think so. If it's not, go back, just to show them, just go back over it really lightly again. There's no real wrong way to do this. And the good part is if you swipe and you don't like it, you scrape it off and you swipe again. So, okay, so we want kind of a bigger leaf here. You've got a tool and I've got a tool.
Okay.
And have your wet paper towel ready.
Oh.
And so our tool is gonna just get that surface of the white. So just watch me totally before you do it. I always have everybody just kind of watch. So I'm gonna grab that white and I'm keeping my tool level with the canvas. And I'm not pressing into it. I'm just literally laying it on the surface just enough to barely touch it and glide.
That way, okay.
And see, if you let up, then you have little blank spots, and that's okay. And then you take your tool and you wipe it totally off, because you want a clean tool for the next swipe. And like there's a little area, we have a credit card. Very gently. It's a very gentle touch. I always try to make that really clear when I'm trying to teach people how to swipe, is it's a really gentle touch. And I actually can tell that I didn't put enough paint on because it's pretty thin and light here. So anyway, so you're going to just start about in this area here, and you're just going to kind of go to the right but come downwards and just kind of move off the canvas.
Okay. No pressure.
You can go a little harder. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. So yeah, if you lift up a bit, there's a little gap, and that's okay. That's totally okay.
Should I do it again, or we're good?
You're good. Okay. And if you want to go back over that area, you can totally put the colors down and do it again right in that area. So
I'm lifting up too fast.
Yeah, there's kind of a key moment where you want to get that swipe kind of covered, and then gently, you're not taking it totally up at one time. It's just a very gradual lift. So the next one we'll do again right beside it.
Okay.
So we're about midway through the lines of color, and again. And the reason there is a gap is because I did put down too little paint. Like you put a little more, and so see how yours is a little brighter and more vivid? And the other key thing is I get my knuckles sometimes in the paint. So be really careful about holding the tool with your fingertips and not having your fingers under your tool, because you will scrape the canvas with your knuckles.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
That's definitely better.
Okay, and so this we're going to take and use our card.
Okay.
And really you have a little bit more control with your card, but it's also just for small spaces. So you can use the wide angle of it or the smaller one. So you see those? I probably used the wider part, and I probably did 2 swipes, at least one that was kind of wide. It's a very, see, I missed part of my paint there. Good, you did a lot better job than I did. I didn't put enough paint down. And then just do a couple of more with your small part of your card. and kind of lift off, so it has a winged effect. So see, Marcy's looks better than mine. You did a great job. And I literally just didn't put enough paint down. So we're going to leave hers because hers looks great. And I'm going to really quick show you that just because you don't like what you did doesn't mean you can't just go right through it. So I'm doing a really fast. I'm not putting any more paint than I did before, and I really don't want any more because I've already got that one layer of paint down. Well, if you have a jam up in your, I have to keep a toothpick to push through any clogs. And that's just paint that happens to maybe dry near the tip of the bottle, or could be the Floetrol, you never know.
Can I go over this one spot again? Or should I not?
I think it's pretty.
I should leave it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it because it's very colorful and distinct, and I really like it the way it is, actually.
Way to leave it, guys.
Yeah. This is a playing piece. We're just going to have fun with it.
So long story short, I need to go to your link and order a bunch of those bottles.
Yeah, they used to be an 8-pack, and I think they're now in a 6-pack, and they've gone up in price. They're a little harder to get. Sometimes they're not available.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've searched high and low on Amazon, and there's really only about one company or so that even carries them, so they are a little difficult to find.
So there was a girl on my channel, S. Sue. I don't know if she even still watches my videos.
She's on my channel too, yes, I know exactly.
She specifically asked me to try this technique like 2.5 years ago. So I feel like I'm finally fulfilling that request.
Yeah, well, she'll see it on both of our channels then. She's been a faithful watcher of mine for a couple of years. I know exactly who you're talking about. Because you have those faithful people that are just there time after time. But see, I can go back over it and still get the same results, even with those colors underneath. Well, I'm using my big one and didn't use the small one. But see how I'm wiping my tools off? Because if you don't wipe your tool off, you're going to put all those colors back over your white. And
get a little mud.
Yeah. So that looks a little better, but actually I'm going to give Marcy an A+ on her first row. Everybody give her a hand.
I passed.
Yay. She's a good student.
Try to follow directions. Not the best, but I try.
And it's sometimes it's just easier when you're standing like right beside somebody and you can see. I'm gonna toss my paper towels.
I'm putting you on the basketball team.
Okay, so our next row is going to go up to about the corner. We're going to start really in about the same place, and we're going to aim to about the corner, or an inch or so below that corner edge there.
Okay.
So, same process. And you can also, something like this, you can switch up your colors, and if you want just greenish, bluish leaves, we're just going to do the rainbow colored effect for all of this, but you can totally switch and just have a layer of blue-green leaves and then go back to the rainbow colored leaves or feathers or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go a little heavier on my colors. Remind myself to go heavier. So you see how we're touching the other color, but we're not going over it. So you can see a little bit of each color.
Except by accident.
And if you have a little gap in between, whoops, see, that one had a little plug and then it like a big.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'm just going to take my little card and move some of that color it will not make a difference in the grand scheme of things if you have a little blurb. So if you don't hear us talking, it's because we're really, you know, we're using major brain power here. Isn't this fun?
It is. Slightly nerve-wracking, but fun.
Well, see, and I haven't done a swipe like this in ages. I mean, a good 6 months or more.
Yeah,
So
I've only done like general swipes, you know, like on the whole canvas,
Right.
not a controlled swipe like this.
And the beauty of these controlled swipes are the smaller cells and lacing, which is the look that you're going for. And the reason they are that way is because you're squeezing it through a small hole, so that silicone or OGX is mixed in and the bottle is shaken and all that. You're not going to get large cells with this style of painting. You are intentionally wanting smaller cells and lacing. So you could have fresh mixed paint and put it down in cups, but you're going to get much larger cells. And that is another reason why I love to put it in the bottles. Because this is way more difficult. I've tried to pour straight out of cups onto the canvas in lines like this.
For sure, that's what I tried when I tried this years ago.
And it
didn't work.
It's nearly impossible because you just put too much paint on the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, some of this paint's been sitting, so, and that is why you see fingerprints all over my bottles, because I'm a messy painter. She's going to paint with Christina Welch. You might want to go a little heavier down there again.
Okay.
She's going to paint with Christina Welch tonight. She's going to do her live, but you might see this the next day. I'm not sure if people will see this video today. But they're going to paint together because Christina Welch is about an hour or so down the road from me. So they're going to have fun. I think they're going to work on the bloom technique, and who knows what else. But Christina, my whole point of that was Christina is very neat. Everything is just so. If you're a Christina Welch fan, then you know what I'm talking about. She is super organized and neat. And we're messy girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can see from above, but we can see from here that the canvas is starting to dry already where the black is. And that's totally okay. We could almost be doing this on a dry canvas. But that's why I put just a little bit of a skim coat. It just helps your paint glide a little bit. But you don't have to have a really wet canvas. And I want to, just make sure and reiterate that. That's not key. Okay, we're going to move to the big guns now.
No pressure.
So I'm looking at my pattern from the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can, if you want to, you can overlap a little bit. Like this, yours is a little bit higher, but that's some of the prettiest parts of your thing. So you may want to lift
here,
up.
but not there, or
yeah,
something.
or you may want to lift up right before you get to the top edge of that. And if you go over it a little bit, it's okay. It just kind of gives it a more three-dimensional layered look. So I'm gonna do a swipe about right here, and we're doing the same technique. We're gonna grab the edge, except for you're gonna be coming this way, and so you're gonna be grabbing from the left. I'm grabbing from the right.
Okay.
Because we're both right-handed. We're grabbing that white and gently gliding our tool. And then you just slightly lift up. So see, I've got a lot of space here because
I'm so nervous about this one.
It's actually, on a large canvas, this is the most enjoyable tool to play with. It is so much fun. I have done abstract paintings with this tool on dry canvases with colors, and it's a blast to play with.
Okay. Just guide me here. So probably about right here.
So yeah, just hit that white. Make sure you hit that white kind of in the middle of your tool.
Okay.
And you'll feel it kind of catch the surface.
Yep.
And then you're going to the right and then slightly coming down.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, if you don't like it, you can go real quick over it with the layers and do another swipe. Do you want to try it again?
And you never just go again?
No, if you go again, it's gonna take it down more to the canvas because the colors are spread out thinner. So the best thing to do is just re-layer it and go over it if you want to go over it again.
Let's try the other layer, the other ones, and then see how it looks.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the top one, and we clean the tool every time you use it. We're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna make sure my tool goes over that white. I'm catching the white, gently gliding, and I'm gonna take it right off the edge of the canvas. Okay. And see, you get all this beautiful stuff. And if you save paint skins, like photo paper or anything like that, if you scrape your paper over this, it'll leave really beautiful paint skins for you. This is the only waste that you have. And don't drip over your canvas. I've made that mistake too. When you clean your tool, go off your canvas. Just keep making sure that you have a clean tool when you do this. Maybe put down one more little layer of white over your white at the top. It looks a little on the thin side. Okay. So you're just going exactly.
I need to not.
But just go off to your right. Don't bring it like totally down. Just kind of go at an angle to your right. Perfect. Just leave it a minute and let it kind of settle up. Okay, and then we're going to do these down here with our smaller tool.
That seems easy.
Yeah, because if we do the large tool here,
it's too hard to.
We could still do that, but I kind of like the layered look of having. Let me see that white again, please. Yeah. I'm gonna add a little bit more white back here, just to, because sometimes the paint will kind of cover over it, and I like to kind of have that layered look. So I'm just gonna swipe gently. I'm gently lifting off. That was a pretty good one for me there.
Yes. Okay. Determined to get this down here. Alright. So mine's probably going to go over a little bit.
Yeah, and that's okay. Right. Okay. And so when you're lifting off too, like you see there's a little bit of a gap,
evenly.
You kind of leave it touching down a little longer as you're lifting off, and then you lift off maybe here and see it kind of tapers if you want it tapered. So that's just I didn't tell you that before, so I can't say
well, that should have been
I told you so.
Sense.
And then I'll take my little card and I'll just do 1, 2, just a few little swipes. So I'm kind of swiping and I'm kind of angling up to give it that kind of winged, kind of a winged effect.
More like that.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Do you think you want to do that center section one more time?
Oh, I gotta do something.
I think you should, because this one is so lovely. and you've got such a gap. If you do another layer, and you can possibly bring it down a little lower, and you can still have a gap, like I have a gap.
I want a rainbow just right here. I want to put those colors again.
Yeah. So start just like right below that white edge, and just start with your colors again, and do, you know, about 8 inches or so. Enough to where you can get your tool, well, the pull trail on it, so that's good. Go just a touch heavier on the colors as you go, just a touch.
Okay.
And then put you a little bit of white at the top again.
Okay.
So when you go over it on this one, you're going to bring it and then try to taper it up a little bit and leave that top part still touching, and kind of start to lift off so that you have a little bit of a, you know, less wide area.
Yes.
But this, you'll leave your pressure on a little bit longer. But just soft gliding. Just soft, think of it as gliding. Go upwards, yeah. There you go.
More like that?
Yeah.
Can I do one more right here with the card?
Yeah. You can do anything you want to do.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up the center, and I'm not sure that we're going to do that little squiggly thing and up through the center. I didn't like that after I did it on the original.
Oh, I love it.
You do? But we can do something, but just maybe more simplified.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to go up, and we're going to aim for about 4 or 5 inches on either side. I'm going to start up here. Okay, there we go. So we'll just come down to the center.
Okay.
So, you know, about right there.
Should have made it like around there?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Trying to remember what order I went in.
I cannot wait to get home and practice this.
Well,
clearly I need some practice with this.
And even
the tools.
Even if you do, like, my first one that I ever did was called Feather Dance.
Yeah.
And people loved it, and I loved it, and I sold it immediately. And it was one that went this way.
Yeah.
And I did just kind of in a couple of different directions, and I even used different colors. I don't even think I swiped with the white.
Yeah.
I was just like trying to make it look
just
abstract.
having fun with it.
Yeah, and it was a blast, and it turned out really gorgeous. And
yeah.
so it's fun to use that tool.
And plus, I'm sure after I play around with it a little bit, you know, kind of develop sort of my own technique about it.
I think if anything, people are just a little timid with it.
Yeah.
But you just have to get the feel for it. That's the big thing, is just getting the feel for it.
Well, no one can be Sandra Lett. Did anyone ever call you Sandra T?
No.
Look at me, I'm Sandra T.
What is it, Sandra T or Sandra D?
Well, it's Sandra D, but you're not a D.
Olivia.
You were a T.
Olivia Newton-John.
Which is close, yeah.
Yeah, back in high school, because my hair was, you know, curly and kind of wild like that. Yeah, people call me Sandra D.
Nice.
Plus, I was bubbly and fun. Whoops, see, they went on a big blurb.
Yep.
That's okay. And then the white's over on your side.
Yep, I stole it. Okay, let's go ahead. I should take the top off to start with. Should it go in the middle here, or just starting here?
Yeah. Yeah, you can start and just come down and kind of put a nice healthy through the center of it there. Yeah.
Pressure. You still use this one or the smaller one?
I think we're going to use the smaller ones.
Okay, good. It's a little easier.
Even though you could technically use the bigger one. So it depends on how you want it overlapped. So do you want to do it and then overlap, or do you want to do it and then overlap? So I think I want to start here and then overlap from the bottom.
Yeah. I'm gonna just watch you and then do my best to copy. Can't guarantee anything.
Kind of sliding across and then going up and then letting off of that pressure.
Okay. Alright.
And then wiping off your lovely, lovely tool, or putting it on some paper, photo paper or whatever.
Yeah.
So you want to do your first one?
Okay.
And see, this is silicone that sat in bottles for a year, y'all. That Southern drawl, y'all.
Better. Getting there?
And see, you still get plenty of cells. It's like people say they can't get cells, and it's why can't you get cells?
Yeah. Well, I found that it's usually the paint consistency that's the problem, not the silicone.
Yeah. So I don't know what your typical recipe is. Mine's always generally 1-to-1. I know, like Gina.
I use more Floetrol.
Yeah, Gina DeLuca. I know
But it's
she
the same
uses 2-to-1.
consistency.
Yeah. To me, sometimes I feel like if I use more than one part to one part, it'll kind of take away some vibrancy of the color, but that's not necessarily true either, but you know.
Yeah. It's also going to depend on, I'm sure, on the color.
It just extends the paint more, really.
Okay, I think I'm going to overlap a little.
Yeah.
Okay, I still need to lift up on the bottom and on the top.
I've also got, I only have one of these, I think, and we can share. I've got a metal one. I can try the metal one and let you use the plastic, because plastic is always easier than metal.
Okay.
But we can, for this size, we can see I pushed down too hard because it was metal. It's heavier. So I may reapply those colors. See? She's doing great.
Getting there, getting there.
The pro screwed up and she did great.
There are no mistakes in art. Only happy accidents.
I'm going to re-swipe mine.
Okay.
I don't like it.
At least our top part here is much more cohesive.
And so you don't have to always use rainbow colors. You can totally pick a palette of colors. It could be soft, soothing colors like different tones of blues and whites and creams and some metallics, and on a white background, and it could look nice and serene and beachy. So I mean, I just love color, so that's why this is a rainbow effect, but it doesn't have to be rainbow colors. And you could so use any color for your background. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. You can so use whatever colors you want to use. Okay, I'm going to use yours.
Go.
Hers is still prettier.
Maybe this part, but the rest, I don't know.
Add a little more white because it starts to sink.
I like all this lacing though.
Yeah,
So
it is pretty. And it will deepen as it dries, because even since we started, we walked away for a little bit and came back. This part right here is already dried, and you can see how much darker it is, but it will come back to life when you varnish. Because people ask, do I need to varnish? You don't have to, but if you do, it just really makes your colors pop. Okay. So here we could just, you know,
card.
kind of go back and forth. And just take a little bit just to make it, I'm trying to, it almost kind of looks like a plant. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would describe it as, but, and then you could even like, you know, just drag your card through a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. Some nice big tropical plant.
So now, like even here, because you have more space and it doesn't have to be totally equal, you know, as far as on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, like this is kind of blah looking for me. I might could add a little something here and you might could add a little something there, and we can put a little something in the middle and then make it feel like it's done. You know, you want to try that?
Like that, yeah.
And I dropped a white spot right in the middle. And if this paint were wetter, I could almost make it disappear, but I can still do that anyway.
Yeah. You can
So maybe I'll just add a little something right here that's interesting.
So what do you think if I added something maybe that went like from here to here, kind of thing, or like out of here?
Yeah, like coming from there.
I like
Let's say like nature, where it's not really totally planned. So I might come out from here and go up, because this is my boring area here. So I'll just it won't be anything major, and then you decide where you want to put yours.
I was like, she's gonna look over here and be like, you ruined the best part.
And the only thing about too is about making waves is when you make a wave, you can't control it with the bigger tool, because that tool is going to land in one area. So with bigger waves, you have to use smaller tools to swipe with it. And that's the only thing about, you know, if you put any curves into it.
Well, funny part is I wasn't even trying to. It just happened. My arm just didn't go straight.
And I can tell you from what we're doing here, y'all can't see on the sides, but we only have a little drip off on the edge here and maybe over here, and she might have a little on the ends, but they're,
a little bit, yeah.
You have very little waste of paint with this swiping technique, for sure. And I probably shouldn't have gone up the same angle this one was. Now that I did it, I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway. I put white below the pink, and I wasn't supposed to.
Well, it's there now.
Yep. Which it'll still look fine. So, what do I want to do?
Go to Disneyland.
So maybe I'm going to do one on the lower end right here, and I'm leaving some black negative space on purpose, because I did go kind of parallel with this same. I'm leaving space on purpose on there. And then I'm going to use my card and just do a couple of small swipes.
Here's this plastic one too, if you want that one.
Yeah, I'm good with this one. That's fine.
I think I shall. I'll go ahead and use the card too. I'm gonna copy you.
Well, I used the bigger one for one swipe, but then I didn't use it for anything else.
Well, I used the card.
And like try to keep it more parallel.
Yeah.
You're kind of doing it. You're kind of lifting. If you keep it more parallel, you'll end up having much more of these beautiful cells that happen, because you're kind of covering the whole surface of everything instead of just the tip where your card is.
Makes sense. I got a little excited.
me just put paint on my neck. And while she's doing her thing, like if this dried, I could always come back and add a little black space in here to put some negative space back in, like the black background. I would just use the same exact black paint so that there's no difference in the look of the black. Because one brand of black color can look different from another brand. And so just always use the same color you used originally. I like that.
Yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Me too.
So what do you want to do up here? You want to do something like a little blip blip randomly off of it? Do you want to do something with the squiggles?
Personally, but
okay,
I mean,
so
it's up to you.
we can do that either with the bottles, or we can do it with our little fine tip writers where it's really fine, and like with metallic gold or white.
Ooh, metallic gold.
So it could have some color mix. Yeah, we could do it with a little color from the bottle and then a little metallic gold.
Okay, what do you think?
What do you think?
I mean, I love gold. I say gold should go in everything.
So we would probably do it last so it's on top of everything because it's dimensional.
Right.
With it being
That's the
metallic
yeah.
straight out of the bottle, it's going to dry a little bit dimensional.
Yeah.
I almost see if you wanted to add something just like right there, coming down a little bit. I think that would be pretty in that area. Just like one little blip or a little two
Like
little.
coming from here?
No, because that's really pretty. Like it's growing like
it's
right
growing underneath it,
right
kind of?
from here. Like you just have a little
Okay,
4 or 5
I can
inch
try
area.
it. That seems dodgy.
So yeah,
like maybe from here to there.
Yeah. As an artist, this is where you look at the painting and you decide what's pleasing to the eye for you.
Right. Which
Composition.
Everyone's going to be different.
Yeah, and what feels good compositionally, so that you know when you're done, you're done. And
I can already tell your taste is a little bit different than mine,
is it?
but not in a bad way, of course. Just a little different. But every artist is.
And I have a tendency to overdo as opposed to underdoing. That's definitely, I guess, my fault is I'll kind of keep going when maybe somebody else might would have stopped.
Yeah, that's definitely not just you. Most of us have that problem.
But for me, you can't put too much color on a canvas.
Yeah.
I just like rainbow colors. Just make me really happy.
Me too. Right. I think I remembered your order correctly.
Yeah, it's just totally like in the rainbow order. This makes it not feel so planned by doing this, by adding something that's, kind of off from the way that it's going, because like this one was higher, then this feels more random and more organic to me.
Yeah. Well, especially since 2 different people didn't decide. It's going to be definitely more random. Here, I'm going to pass these back over to you.
Maybe that white too when you're
Yeah.
filling up the spot where I scraped.
You scrape with my side.
I was scraping with the card and then it took it down to the black, so it'll level out.
Oh, it's all good.
And I'll be thinking about what I want to do up here.
Okay.
It's like, what is your favorite colors?
I definitely tend to go towards the blues and purples.
Okay.
But I mean, I really do like all of them.
So, and here I'm going to vary it. I'm going to kind of cross over back and forth, and then I'm going to let Marcy do the scrape, the little bit of swiping. We're going to make it look a little different from the original one that was ever done. We're going to throw in a little violet, which I didn't use in any of this, and violet is one of my favorite purple colors. that violet.
What do you think about right here? Should I add more white there?
You could put a little bit of white and then just really lightly go back over it. Because we got all the really pretty rainbow colors there, so
Yeah.
just enough. And then what I do is I'll take my card sometimes
Just pull
and
it
I'll
out. Like
use it to almost make like a little stem that feels like it's going in somewhere. But like this is already almost practically dry. This is how quickly a swipe will dry on you. So we can actually just leave it the way it is. Okay, so I just am randomly putting these colors, and then I'm gonna let Marcy, let me pull out my favorite. Let's see if she can use this tool. I started swiping with the butter knife because it has soft rounded edges instead of like a palette knife that has hard straight edges. So like I might just take the butter knife and do a little, so I'm barely touching and totally lifting off. And so not repetitively, like if you want to go that way or that way, and then of course you just swipe. I wish I knew where my favorite little palette knife is. But let me add a little bit more white because it's kind of disappearing in there.
I can do some down here, but I kind of recommend you do it up there because I feel a little too short.
Okay.
To easily reach.
So get it really more parallel to the canvas so you get a little coverage, you know.
Well, I'm trying to avoid getting on this too much.
But that's okay. If you have some that goes over, it might be pretty.
Unless it's my fingers. Okay, that's not at all what you want to do.
Well, it's elongated. It's not thick, but there you go.
So you're thinking kind of more like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. Maybe. Now going the other direction.
Yeah, so maybe like in between those, have one coming in between that's kind of in the middle.
Flat. Don't touch the canvas. Left-handed is bad. Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty.
All right, over to you. Fix it.
No fixing. It's just yeah, you have to be really careful because when you're using something like this that doesn't have much of a handle that's curved,
you don't want
your
to put
fingers are really close to your paint, so you have to really be careful not to stick your fingers. So we're just okay. Now, do you want to draw some lines in? With the gold or white or something like that? With the little fine liner. And like they can come across here. This is where it kind of makes it feel abstract.
Can I do one that comes like that?
Yeah. So the key with these fine liners is if you have to squeeze harder because it's metallic and it's thick.
Yeah.
Start it on like a paper towel to make sure it comes out first of all, so it's not dried up or clogged or okay. And so the slower you go, the more jiggly and wiggly it's going to be because of your pressure of squeezing. And if you're squeezing hard and you go a little bit quicker, it's going to be actually a more straight line. It's not going to have as much wiggle to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, let me just do one
to
kind of show you. So if you kind of squeeze hard and kind of fast, I can kind of wiggle it or whatever, but if I tried to do that slow, it would have been real jagged.
Yeah.
So if that makes sense, yeah.
It does.
And I kind of started it, so I'll just blend it in right there. But
I did it!
you did it!
Whew. That was so much pressure.
So put the gold wherever you want to put it.
Yikes. Well, let's go ahead and do one through here.
So whoever ends up owning this painting will have a Sandra Lett Marcy original. Mixed media, girl.
Great. Maybe.
I also have a purple metallic. I'm just saying. It's pretty. It's purple pearl. And then this is just straight white. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like something needs to be in this area.
Yeah, definitely.
So wherever you want to take it from. It could come up from here and go through. It could come from the center somewhere, you know.
Let's do...
The cool part about this is it's totally make-believe. There's no right or wrong. But everything is better with a little gold metallic.
Oh, my... Oh, okay. Didn't get my sweater in there. I tried. That didn't work. And do one more through here. Done. I'm short.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw in a little.
It's you.
I'm gonna throw in a little white.
Okay.
Just a.
Ooh, I like that.
Just a little oomph. The more controlled I try to do it, the more it shows my shaky hand. That's for sure. And I do have that purple metallic. Do you want to throw in any purple metallic lines?
You know, I think I'm done.
You think you like it?
Yeah. But if you want to,
Do you think we need anything down here, or you think it's good?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have something through there. I feel like nervous at this point. I'm like, okay, I don't want to mess it up.
Well, okay, so we could put, because there's so many colors, and white is our swiping color, we could add just a little white.
Yeah.
Just to give it a little bit more definition. So I'm just going to go in and squeeze. And I'm not going to try to make it straight. I'm just going to put in a few little random white lines.
Oh, I like that.
Almost as if it were vines or something. See,
Yeah.
I stuck my needle in the, if you stick your needle in the paint, it will take whatever color you've stuck it in.
Colorful, yeah.
And,
I've done that too many times.
and actually this looks pretty good through here. I don't know if it needs much. Maybe, how about adding a little gold through the middle, even if it's kind of a little curvy, you know?
I'm going to go from here.
Just to give it a little definition.
Let's go. Okay.
I quite like our Wings of Love. I like it better than my original one. To
Oh,
be
yeah?
honest. Yeah.
Yay.
You did
I didn't mess
good.
it up.
She's a good student. You know, I think she has a little experience under her belt.
I have painted once or twice before.
Since she's only made, what, 1,000 plus videos, right?
Yeah, it's up.
I'm somewhere between 700 and 800, so you've got a few more hundred under your belt than I have.
Yeah, mine's up to like 1,200 by now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, I have painted for 20 years, so I might have done more paintings than her.
Yep.
I'm going to add a little gold right through there.
Nice.
I think it's beautimous.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that word before?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do it close.
So, can you do your signature with the gold paint?
I think so.
Just somewhere down here. And we'll have both our signatures on it. Beautiful. I'll have to do mine later. I'll probably do mine with a small gold pen because I signed my name.
Oh, you let,
and it, so I'll have
yourself use the pen and you make me use the writer. I see how it
because I was pretty sure you used your initials.
Yeah,
So I want it to stand out because your initials against my name will look, that way I can make mine smaller, that won't come, it won't feel so, there.
You're so funny.
So, yeah. So what do y'all think? Y'all comment below, and Marcy has
Let
filmed.
me know how I did.
Yeah. Marcy's filmed it from a different angle, which will be on her channel. So it'll be cool for you to watch it from her camera's angle of perspective as well, because you'll get to see it a little bit more from the side
Yeah.
than from straight down. And maybe sometimes that helps people more when they can see it from different angles. So I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Please give us a thumbs up. Go watch Marcy's video at Mixed Media Girl, and make sure to like and comment and subscribe both channels. And we'll see you on the next video. And I'm so happy that she got to come spend time with me. Now I'm going to send her off to Christina Welch's studio, and they're going to play together a little bit. So stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.